Now, not to alarm anyone or add any pressure to this fight, but this is why Tom Aspinall has to win against Cyril Gane. So for us MMA fans, this is the week to look forward to UFC 321. For regular people, the week before Halloween. And for a certain somebody, they might call it an Aspinall Fest. Well, to be fair, Aspinall Fest does sound cooler than UFC 321, so I don't mind it. And the closer we get to Aspinall Fest 321, the more I'm starting to realize we have to win. And when I say we, I mean the MMA community as a whole. You know, maybe besides for the Jon Jones fans that I hate watching this week, which if you are watching, there's the door. Now, f*** off. And now with them freaks gone, I mean, they're probably still watching. If you are, your nan's a fat slag. But besides for the two Jon Jones fans watching, and, you know, I guess they're fat nans, the rest of the MMA world will be behind Tom Aspinall this weekend. From everybody's predictions to the betting odds, it's really taking a special type of somebody to be picking Cyril Gane in this fight. And I can't say I'm surprised. I mean, this man has won the hearts of everybody in the MMA community. From the British fans, to the Dagestani fans, to the Jon Jones haters. Basically everyone you could imagine in the MMA world. One of the rare wholesome occasions where the MMA fan bases all come together, look past our differences to get behind our heavyweight king. Which is even crazier when you remember the fact that, you know, people just hate the English, which, you know, I don't blame. I'd hate us too, you know, but I guess this is the lesser of two evils. Especially when you take into account how everybody's sick of Cyril Gane just getting gifted title shots by the UFC. Like it's Mr. Beast gifting out life-changing opportunities to random fucking people on the street. And even then, at least the people in the Mr. Beast videos are doing something to earn their money.
This man is literally in a burning building.
Oh! There's fire around the door!
The craziest thing we've ever built. And 7 death traps, including getting shot out of a cannon into fire, jumps through death-defying rings of fire, surviving massive fiery explosions, and so much more.
Meanwhile, Cyril Gane gets gifted his 4th title fight for robbing Volkov. And don't think for a second we're going to forget about that, Dana, after you told Volkov you'd make it up to him. What the f*** do you call this? Now, is the whole point why Tom Aspinall has to win because the alternative of Cyril Gane winning just might be the worst thing to happen in human history? No, that's just one of few reasons. Could it maybe be because of no fault of his own after all the hype and anticipation for his first title fight, that if he does in fact lose it, then might become a meme? I mean, sure, maybe. Like, sure, I may be guilty of it myself, hyping up Tom Aspinall to be the second coming of, you know, Broly, Thanos. Basically, the most intimidating thing you can imagine. But hey, it's not as if I'm the only one. And I think it's been so long that people have started to forgotten the way people were talking and describing Tom Aspinall at the time of him fighting a year ago.
Tom Aspinall is the most dangerous man in human history when it comes to mano-a-mano, hand-to-hand combat. There has never been a person to walk this God's green earth that I would pick to beat Tom Aspinall in a fight. And you know what? There's only a couple that you could even argue. And that's Francis Ngannou and Jon Jones. And that's at best.
And if you thought that was glaze, get a load of this. Tom Aspinall. If you've never heard this, prepare yourself. Tom Aspinall is the Muhammad Ali of mixed martial arts from Michael Bisping. Like, someone that's literally said, I wished he was my dad. Even I wouldn't go this far. To be clear, I do stand by all the hype I've said about Aspinall. I think he beats up your favorite fighter, especially if they're Jon Jones. But at the same time, if it does all backfire on us, at least me and Bisping are from England, so we can just say we were biased. I have no idea what Lucas Tracy's going to have to answer for this. Also, if Aspinall loses a decision to Gane, then not only does he lose, but, I mean, I don't know how to do the maths on this, but I'm pretty sure we won't be able to say it's the average shortest fight time in UFC history. Probably the least of his worries if it does happen, but, like, you know, it was cool to say. It had aura. But either way, it just would be a shame if Aspinall were to become a meme for losing this fight if he does, especially for how much of a humble and self-deprecating king he is.
You said it was a sexy shirt.
Does it look sexy on me, though?
100%.
Oh, thanks. That's very nice of you. I think you can't polish a turd, but I'm trying my best over here. I'm not going to stand in the middle of the cage and have a shootout with him. Do you know what I mean? I'm not going to have a dick measuring competition with him. Both literally and figuratively, because he'll probably win both. Sniper's dream, they like to call me with this head.
What would it take?
To finger me?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, it's not his fault that we, you know, said he's the Muhammad Ali of mixed martial arts. That's Bisping's fault. Fuck Bisping. And the funniest part of all that is the only people hoping he becomes a meme after this fight is the Jon Jones fans, which are so fucking dumb they don't realize if he does lose, it just makes Jon Jones look even worse. Granted, wouldn't be Jon Jones' most embarrassing moment, but, you know, it'd be up there somewhere. Because if Aspinall lost this fight and then went on a 5-loss streak and became a meme, he's the bum-ass loser that Jon Jones still ducked. He'd be the bum-ass loser that scared Jon Jones into retirement, handing over his belt to him after crying about physical disadvantages for months, whilst begging for an Alex Pereira fight in the same division for a BMF title fight. You know, the baddest motherfuckers that don't want to fight Aspinall. Which, on a side note, we already unfortunately have a BMF champion, which thankfully is at least Max Holloway, who, by the way, is probably already more game to fight Aspinall than Jon Jones has ever been. And with Jones doing some of the most pathetic shit I've ever seen to get on this White House card to fight Pereira.
First and foremost, are you retired?
I am not retired. I'm actively training 5 days a week, and I'm in the UFC's drug testing pool.
But I saw a clip of Jon Jones, and then I was like, wait, I recognize the person talking to him. I recognize the voice, and then we looked at where it came from, and Jon was on the red carpet talking to his longtime publicist, Denise White, who does a great job. She's been with him for a very long time. And I don't know if it's because he didn't want to talk to anyone or no one wanted to talk to him, but I thought it was a little bit weird that he was just answering questions as if it was a media interview on the red carpet.
Wait. So you're telling me the GOAT of the sport dressed up, went to a red carpet event to have his own assistant interview him because no one gave a fuck? It just gets better. You just love to see it. No matter how bad Aspinall may lose, nothing will change the fact that he scared the GOAT of the sport into doing shit like this. Though sadly, if he does lose, then Jon Jones might all of a sudden feel a bit differently about fighting for the heavyweight title again. Because let's be honest, it's not going to take long until he shamelessly just starts begging for a Gane rematch at the White House. And as we all know, he'll have a sassy tweet ready for Tom if he does lose. Kind of like how he does with Dominic Reyes whenever he loses. Not realizing that makes you look worse. Like, you still lost to him. You're not helping yourself. But his dumb fanboys just gobble up and regurgitate any of the shit he has to say. And if they're still watching, your nan's still a fat slag. But if it makes you feel any better, at least you got your nan's. Like, mine's dead, so I can't say much. But I can say she wasn't a fat slag like yours, so. Which, speaking of Jon Jones fanboys, you have the biggest one of them all, Dana White. You'd think he'd want the best for his Pookie Bear Jon Jones until you remember how Jon Jones made him look like a complete fucking idiot during the whole ducking saga, even though everyone warned him about it. When it comes to Dana White's feelings for heavyweight champions, like how he was doing tricks on it for Jon Jones for the past 2 years, or how he seems completely indifferent or at times quite resentful to Tom Aspinall, even to the point where he's announcing this fight, he looked distraught.
Tom Aspinall will face Cyril Gane. You can go to, tickets go on sale this Friday. EtihadArena.ae or Ticketmaster.ae.
And then, of course, there's the massive hate boner that he has for the lineal heavyweight champion, Francis Ngannou. You know, the lineal UFC heavyweight champion that's currently under contract in the PFL, whose last UFC fight was against none other than Cyril Gane, which, I mean, makes sense. They throw him title shots like they're Tic Tacs. And after a decision victory over Gane, which, you know, was questionable, but, you know, that's a topic for another video. Just means if Gane were to win and become champion, then this division is a bigger pile of shit we could have ever even imagined. Because the claim for the best heavyweight in the world would be either the lineal heavyweight champion that's in the PFL, the previous heavyweight champion Jon Jones that they tried to use to cover up Francis Ngannou's legacy, who turned out to be scared of other heavyweights, so he handed his belt over to them. Then there's the French guy that took 3 title shots to win one, that lost to the other 2 guys before. And the fourth option obviously being, if we're living in that world, then me probably coping that Tom Aspinall's still the best heavyweight champion in the world. And I'm sure this isn't the type of stuff Aspinall's thinking about or concerning himself with. I'm sure his actual career and own life is, you know, a priority. But when it comes to the MMA world, I just don't see who it benefits for Cyril Gane to win this fight other than Cyril Gane and France. And then I guess the dumb Jon Jones fanboys that don't understand Gane winning would make Jon Jones look worse. Because when it comes to regular MMA fans that aren't trying to be weirdo hipsters, they want a fun, entertaining champion that wants to be active, not filming Netflix movies being handed title shots like they're Tic Tacs until they finally win one. And don't get me wrong, I understand the heavyweight division's a massive pile of shit, but he's the only hope we got left.
Sign up to my boy's YouTube channel. That is JG2. And for those who don't, you can do me a favor and you can bend the knee to King Triple C too.